Hello friends! Today I'm going to be sharing a small haul from the brand new East Asian release from Pixyls and Vexels, and I'm also going to be doing a little bit of pixeling with you and telling you a few tips that I've picked up on my 14 months doing the hobby. So I'm going to start off with my small little Vexels haul. There was only 2 items in this launch, and that is this absolutely beautiful Sushi Cats canvas, as well as this gorgeous midnight lanterns. Both of them are very different. This is more cutesy and I really like it. I think this is going to be a super fun one. There's a lot of layering on this one. And then this one I haven't really taken a close look at, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of layering here as well, because it has 1,286 stickers compared to 898. So I'm looking forward to both for various reasons, but I think the colors in this one are just more my cup of tea, but I had to buy both. So very excited about those. Moving on to the Pixyls side of my haul, I have 2 sets of collectible cards. There are 3 sets available, but the landscapes were delayed, though I believe they are now live and I will be purchasing them. But here we have the Beyond Our Reach collectible cards. This is by My Pixel Project. And we have the Japanese Little Dolls collectible card set by Neapa? I'm not really sure how to say it. I did get it right once, but I've slept since then and I've forgotten. But there we go. We have 2 sets and these are my favourites. I love the Little Dolls sets, honestly. They also had this gorgeous Lucky Cat desk friend. So cute. Let me do a little bit of a close-up on. This is what it will look like. So excited, absolutely love that. There's the stickers. You can see just how super tiny they are. Yes indeed. I love doing these little desk friends, so I'm looking forward to adding that once it's done to my little collection. Next we have this gorgeous Chinese dragon. This is an acrylic wall art. This is what it will look like. Absolutely beautiful. This one sold out very quickly, though they will obviously have a restock, so if it's not on the website when you go, check back. It will be coming back in stock, I'm sure of it. They've done a couple of other wall arts and I love them. There's some swords and also a whale acrylic wall art, but this one is definitely my favorite so far and I am excited to work on it. It's also not too big, which is really nice because I don't have a lot of wall space, so I am really looking forward to this one. Last but by no means least, they had 2 canvases available in the new launch and I had to get both of them. I don't tend to buy as many canvases because I have so many, but look at this. This is Koi Pond and I had to get this one. This is going to be the one that I work on next once I've completed my current projects. I am so excited about this one. It's beautiful, so bright and cheerful, and just it's going to look so great framed on my wall. Very exciting. And lastly is this one. This is Snow Forest Temple. And you can kind of see the image here, but it is actually the same image that came on the thank you card. I'm very excited also to work on this one. The muted colors and the basic design on this one is so nice and it's going to also look gorgeous. So this one is going in my folder, ready to be worked on in the future. I'm very excited about it. Now let's move on to doing some pixeling and talking about some tips. So this is the current set that I'm working on. This is the first landscape collectible cards. I have completed card number 1 and I am close to completing card number 2, and we are going to finish that here today. together as I talk about what I have learned in my 14 months of pixeling, and maybe it will help you a little bit as well. So let's get crafting. So my first tip if you're going to be doing pixeling is to choose your tool wisely. I would recommend buying tweezers from Pixyls because they do two different types. They have the regular Pixyls tweezers, which are the ones that I personally use, but they also have these low pressure applicators, which are for people who maybe aren't able to put the pressure there. Maybe they've got problems with their hands. Some people just love them in general. I did buy a pair, didn't particularly get on with those, but you might. So depending on your needs, choose the correct tool for you. These are the ones I prefer, and they're just normal tweezers. So I think I like knowing when I'm squeezing the tweezers. It just, I don't know, it helps me personally, but I totally understand why people love these too. So now you can of course use other tweezers. Some people have used, I think, Diamond Art Club and other non-branded tweezers. The Pixyls team, I believe, sharpen the tweezers to make it so much easier to pick the pixels up. So if you're using another non-branded one, yes, you can still pixel 100%, but it may be harder to grab the pixels or to lift them easily. So for example, and this is something I discovered with my set, if I turn this around so that the Pixyls logo is not showing, I actually struggle a lot. This side, I don't know what's different about it, but if I turn this around, it's straight up perfect. And you know, it's just figuring out what works. So I would say buy the tweezers from Pixyls. It is definitely a great idea, and I have about 6 pairs just in case I lose any. So moving on to the next little hint for you is they do also sell these double-sided pads. I believe they have different colors now. I think they have a pink and a purple one. This was an era where the stitching was blue on the pink side. I didn't really care, so as the theme of this one fits the blue, we're going to use this one. These were created because they add a little bit of squish and they make it easier to get under your pixels. So instead of just scraping along like I did a minute ago, you can push down and pop up, and that also can help, especially if you don't have the branded tweezers. So that is something you can do, and it's hit or miss whether or not I decide to use the pad. Depends on the size of the project I'm working on. So that is something else for you to consider, but they're not expensive, and I think that they are definitely worth it if you're thinking of using a clipboard to do your smaller projects, which I do when I'm at my mother's house, and it works fantastically on that. It's so good. So I do recommend having one of these. And yes, let's get started on pixeling. So I'm going to pixel now. I'm just going to get on with it and tell you about some different things that I think will help. So you need to clean your tweezers regularly. That is something I learned quite early on because they won't let go of the pixels otherwise, because you get a little bit of glue residue build up here. And did I just put number 2? Yes, I did. I think I did. I can't remember. I put number 1 or number 2, but there we go. There we go. And press every pixel. Every time you lay a pixel down, or if you do a couple in a row, I find working up works better. Then you must press them down, because otherwise, if you try to do the row next to it, let me just do a couple because I've already pressed a few. oh, that's what I mean, then you will find that they will slide under the previous pixels. So notice the ones I pressed I didn't have a problem with. The ones that I did not press, they just slid straight under instead of locking up against. So that is something else that I would point out. It's a little bit more like long-winded, but it makes the actual project so much better. And yes, next up, I know I'm coming up to the end and I'm nearly finished with this one, but when you start a project, there are so many different ways you can do it. I've seen people do checkerboard, I've seen people do just by number, loads of different things. I find my work is neatest if I start at the bottom left and I work all the way up, or at least depending on how much I'm planning to do, as far up as I'm going and as far along as I'm going. So if you're going to do the whole card, you could do the whole thing, but if you're just going to do 10-15 minutes of pixeling, just do a few up and a few across and work your way in. The reason is getting that seam, if you will, perfect, actually really helps to lock in the rest and keep them in line and keep them going in a really nice pattern. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but actually mine have turned out pretty darn spot on this card, and I'm very pleased with that. And that is because I do take absolutely ages working very carefully and lining the bottom row and the side row perfectly. Then the rest of it I can kind of just put on a video, sit and chill. There's no real concentration other than picking the correct numbers, which I did not do then. I thought it said 10. It doesn't, it says 18. But yes, those are my main tips. You can also coat your project when you're finished. I personally don't. I find that the stickers are sticky enough, and because I'm not handling them all the time, then I don't actually need to put them away. But yeah, just work slowly at your pace. Don't rush just because you see people working faster. I know that there are people, there are definitely people that are way better than me and they work way faster than me. But for me personally, this hobby is a really good unwind, chill, relaxing, just something that I do because I enjoy it, because it distracts me from the world, and that is important. So you just gotta make sure you do it. Now, because I use these tweezers instead of the low pressure ones, I do get dots all the way around my project. I actually really like that because it proves that I did it. I like that little texture where I picked up the tweezer, picked it up, and yeah, but I know some people do not. So if the end result is very important to you, whereas for me it's more the process, then I would say you're probably better off with the low pressure ones. I had been using the normal tweezers for like 6-8 months before the low pressure ones came out, and I just couldn't change. So that is my decision to just keep going with the tweezers that I like, and I enjoy seeing all the little dots that show that I did my project and that it's my work. And I don't know, it's also a little bit of textural thing on there. It's quite nice. But yeah, so we're nearly finished here. We'll take a proper close-up look, but I hope that these little tips have helped you a little bit. I do have a affiliate code. It is in the description if you want 10% off your holder. So that is definitely something that you can decide upon. This is a hobby that I think most people would enjoy. They do also do pixels, which I will show you in a moment. They are bigger, so they are bigger pixels. They're pixels, and those are really good for children or adults. I think they're more aimed towards children, but I love doing them, so you know, anyone can do them. They're also really good for people who maybe have bad eyesight, which is actually why I got them, because though I can do pixels most of the time, some days are just really bad. I have an eye condition, and because of that I still want to craft, and pixels is something I can do because it doesn't take as much focus and concentration. Alright, so that is the completed thing. Oh, also you can use your leftovers and do your own designs, which is so much fun. I have a whole popper wallet filled with leftovers that I can use. So here is my finished project. Really nice and neat. I'm very happy with that, and yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I have two projects that I am also working on. We have this acrylic bonsai tree, and here are these are my princess pixels, and these are, like I said, bigger ones. These are actually glitter, so you can see I have completed one sheet of these and I loved them. This was a really fun project for me on a day after I'd had a migraine and I couldn't actually work on anything small. So this was so much fun, and I hope you guys give at least one of these things, Pixyls, Pixels, Vexels, a try. My code works on the whole website, Pixyls, Pixels, Vexels, the whole thing. And I hope you have a truly wonderful and crafty day. And if you have any questions about any of the products or any of the tips, leave them in the description. Leave them in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So happy crafting!